All right, hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us. This time, we're taking a look at taxes, something I know can be intimidating, but hopefully we can help make a little more fun and a little less scary. We found this really interesting conversation between like a host and a tax expert, and we're going to pull out all the best bits, all the gems they talked about, so that you don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, think of it like we did the hard work so you can just sit back and absorb the good stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. And, we're all about making taxes easier, less stressful. I mean, who doesn't want to keep more of their hard-earned money?
Right.
So, picture this. You're sitting down with your mountain of forms and receipts. What's the first thing this expert says?
Well, they really emphasize the importance of being organized.
Okay.
Which might sound obvious, but trust me, it's way more important than you might think.
Okay, more important than, like, deciphering some weird tax code?
Even more than that. I mean, think about it. You're searching for a receipt from like forever ago, and you know you spent the money, but without proof, no deduction.
Oof.
Yeah, and that means paying more taxes than you need to.
Okay, so organization's like step one.
Got it.
So we're organized. Now what?
Now we've got a decision to make. Do we DIY our taxes with software, or do we hire a pro?
Right, the classic DIYer calling the cavalry situation.
Exactly. The expert pointed out that software can be great for simple situations, W-2, maybe some basic deductions.
But it can get pretty hairy pretty quick.
Definitely. If you've got a business or investments or anything complicated, a professional can really save the day.
Yeah, like you wouldn't try to perform surgery on yourself, right?
Exactly. Sometimes you need an expert. But here's a cool thing. They mentioned this thing called the IRS Free File Program.
Free file. Is it really free?
It is. If you meet certain income requirements, you can file your federal taxes completely free, no software fees, nothing.
Okay. That's incredible. How do we even find out if we qualify for that?
The IRS website has all the details about income limits and who's eligible.
Okay, perfect. So something that always trips me up. What's the difference between a deduction and a credit? I mean, even the host in this conversation was like, wait, what?
It is confusing, yeah. So think of a deduction like getting a discount on something.
Okay, I'm with you.
Like it reduces the amount of your income that gets taxed.
Yeah.
Now, a credit is more like a gift card, It directly reduces the amount of tax you owe, dollar for dollar.
Oh, okay. So a deduction is like lowering the price before you pay, and a credit is like a discount at the register.
You got it. And usually that credit is way bigger than what you'd save with a deduction. They even had some examples in there with numbers to really show the difference.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, credits are sounding pretty good right about now. And they mentioned some specific ones that we should know about.
Yeah. They talked about the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, which is great for individuals and families with lower incomes. And then there's the Child Tax Credit, which, if you have kids, that one's a big one.
Right. Kids are not cheap.
Not at all. And finally, there's the American Opportunity Tax Credit, which can help with college costs. So parents of students, definitely look into that one.
Okay, those are good to know about. And then they shifted gears a little bit and started talking about retirement contributions like 401ks and IRAs. And it sounded like those could be a double win, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like getting rewarded for being responsible. You're not only saving for the future, but also potentially reducing your taxes right now.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Tell me more about that.
So the money you put into those accounts, it might not be taxed until you retire. And you could be in a lower tax bracket by then.
That's a pretty sweet deal. And I think they mentioned something about contribution limits, right?
Yeah, there's a limit to how much you can put in each year. But the idea is to put in as much as you can afford.
Got it. Maximize those savings. Okay, so we've talked about getting organized, deciding between DIY and a pro. We've looked at free filing, deductions, credits, and retirement contributions. What else is coming up in this deep dive?
Well, this expert had some really interesting things to say about side hustles, which we'll get into next. But first, let's take a quick break and let all of this sink in.
All right. Welcome back. Feeling like tax experts yet?
I'm getting there. My head's spinning with all this good stuff.
Good. That's the goal. Now, before the break, we were about to jump into side hustles. This expert had some great tips for anyone making money outside of their main gig.
Okay, perfect timing, because I've actually got a little Etsy shop on the side.
Awesome. So, no matter what your side hustle is, crafting, freelancing, whatever, the key is to treat it like a real business, Keep good records.
Records, huh? More than like a pile of receipts in a drawer. Oh yeah, way more. You got to track your income and expenses carefully, like mileage, home office space, supplies, advertising, all that. Anything related to your side hustle could be deductible.
So like every mile I drive to the post office, every skein of yarn I buy, it all matters.
Exactly. But here's the catch. You need proof. No receipts, no deductions.
Okay, no more shoebox accounting for me. Thank goodness for those expense tracking apps, right?
Oh, yeah, those are lifesavers. They can help you categorize everything, track mileage, create invoices, the whole nine yards.
Tech for the win. Way better than my messy spreadsheets.
Right. It just makes everything smoother. And it can help you avoid missing out on those valuable deductions.
Speaking of making things smoother, this expert kept talking about being proactive, not just waiting till April to think about taxes, but thinking about them all year round.
It's like anything else. A little planning goes a long way, especially with taxes. Less stress, potentially more money in your pocket.
Okay, I'm all about less stress and more money.
Mm.
What does that kind of planning actually look like?
Well, it starts with, being aware of your income and expenses throughout the year. If you're employed, you might want to look at your withholdings, make sure you're not overpaying or underpaying.
Yeah, I've definitely been on the wrong end of a surprise tax bill before. Not fun.
Nope. And on the flip side, you don't want to give the government an interest-free loan all year just to get a big refund.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
It is. And part of that balance is keeping up with those expenses. Remember those side hustle deductions, mileage, home office, supplies? It's all way easier to track if you're doing it as you go.
Got it. Proactive planning and good record keeping, that's the magic combo.
Pretty much. But even with the best planning and organization, sometimes you need to call in the pros.
True. We talked about that whole DIY versus pro thing before, but when do you actually need to get professional help?
So if your finances are pretty simple, you might be fine with software. But if things are complicated, you're self-employed, have investments, or just feel lost, then yeah, consider a pro.
What are some red flags that scream, get help?
Big life changes for sure. Marriage, buying a house, having kids, starting a business, those can all impact your taxes.
So it's not just about being complicated, it's about those big life events that can change the game.
Exactly. And sometimes, honestly, it's just about peace of mind. If you're stressed, not sure what you're doing, a tax pro can really help.
Like having a financial guardian angel looking out for you.
I like that. And remember those platforms like Fiverr and Upwork we mentioned? Those can be good places to find affordable tax help.
That's good to know because accountant fees can be, well, scary.
Yeah, for sure. And don't be afraid to ask questions. A good tax pro will explain everything clearly and make sure you understand everything.
Okay, I'm feeling a lot less scared about taxes now. This has been super helpful.
Glad to hear it. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. What if we stopped seeing taxes as a chore and started seeing them as a chance to take control of our finances?
Ooh, I like that, like reframing the whole experience.
Exactly. Instead of dreading tax season, we can look at it as a way to improve our financial well-being. By understanding the rules, planning ahead, and getting help when we need it, we can actually make taxes work for us, not against us.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is, and who knows? We might even find some tax benefits we didn't know about before.
The possibilities are endless. Okay, let's sit with that for a second. When we come back, we'll wrap up this deep dive with some final thoughts. And we're back, ready to wrap up this deep dive into taxes.
Hopefully by now you're feeling a lot less stressed about taxes and a lot more ready to tackle them.
Definitely. We've gone from deductions and credits all the way to changing our whole mindset about taxes.
And how cool was that idea about seeing taxes as a chance to, really take control of your finances?
Yeah, that was a game changer for me. Instead of dreading April, what if we actually looked forward to optimizing our finances?
Exactly. If we understand the rules, plan ahead, and, get help when we need it, we can actually make taxes work in our favor.
It's like turning those tax forms into like a financial superpower or something.
I love that. And, it's not just about saving money. It's also about that sense of confidence you get when you understand your finances.
Right. It's like taxes. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I get you.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There's great software out there, and you can always talk to a professional.
Speaking of pros, I think it's important to remember that getting help is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a really smart move, especially if your taxes are, on the more complicated side.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes it's best to leave it to the experts, just like, you wouldn't try to fix your own car engine if you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, good point. So as we're wrapping up here, what's the biggest thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
I'd say it's this. Don't be afraid of your taxes. Embrace them. Learn about them. It's an investment in your financial well-being, and it's going to pay off in the long run.
Well said. And remember, knowledge is power, right? The more you know, the more in control you are.
Absolutely.
So go out there and rock those taxes. You've got this. That's all for this deep dive. We hope you learned a ton and maybe even had some fun along the way. Keep learning, stay curious, and we'll catch you next time.